What's up? My name is David Mihal, and we're going to talk about burner wallets today. Apologies in advance that these slides are a little thin. We've been working nonstop for the past 6 weeks, but especially this week, getting those BUIDLathon apps that you guys have on your phone that are hopefully working. Good, bad, yeah?
There's a food truck on fire right now, but we got to talk.
So yeah, we wanted to talk about, kind of go over what the burner wallet is, what's been going on in the past year. If you were here a year ago, you used kind of the original iteration that Austin put out, and what's coming in the future of this project. So you want to kick us off with this?
History? Yeah.
Well, we can start off with kind of what a burner wallet is.
Yeah, like security trade-off. So a burner wallet basically puts the, I'll get you. A burner wallet basically puts the private key in local storage. Sometimes you operate on a side chain. You sort of make these trade-offs for better UX and smoother sending for small amounts of money, right? When you tell a crypto maximalist about putting a private key in local storage, they usually get goosebumps and throw up and run off, right? Like it's not something that people are used to, doing something so insecure. But if you think about $10, it totally makes sense, and it makes the whole journey of sending money and moving money and programming money a lot easier when you can just generate a private key willy-nilly and use it to sign a few things and throw it away when you're done. So the trade-offs were, initially when I put it together, I got a lot of crap from a lot of people, and I still do. But what I noticed was so I built it on the plane. I was laid over in Heathrow in London. Yeah, a short history. I was laid over in Heathrow in London for 9 hours, and I had this idea of sending money with a queue. Actually, it came from Alejandro. He was doing all sorts of cool stuff in trying to get a wallet in Venezuela and stuff way beyond me. But he and I talked, and it really inspired me to build a wallet that was more approachable and easy for people to use, that didn't take a download and a 12-word seed phrase. So I put it together on the plane. It was just a web app. And at DevCon, I had it on my phone, and I was like, hey, buddy, take out your phone, scan this. And then he had money. And then he went to the next guy, and he had money. Pretty soon, there was a circle of people at some dingy Prague nightclub passing around XDAI. And I noticed right away there was this vacuum for great UX in the space, and this thing was filling that vacuum. People were waiting for the ability to just do this, and they were really excited about it, even though there were those trade-offs, and you have to talk about the trade-offs, and you have to say, we're just going to use a small amount of money to do this, but it makes the experience much more magical. So then I met Rich and MakerDAO, and my buddy Brian ETHDenver decided we were going to try to do this thing at ETHDenver. And we knew it was going to take a lot of testing. A circle of people at DevCon is a lot different than 1,400 hackers, right? So we started doing UX tests with this wallet where we would open a bar up and hand out these private wallets at the door. People would scan the private key, they'd walk up to the bar, they'd shoot a QR code, they'd buy a drink. For us as crypto people, we're used to, then you go to MetaMask, then you have to go to ETH, then you have to put in a seed phrase, then you have to write it on a piece of paper and put it in your underwear drawer. We weren't used to this, and so that vacuum was filled by this idea of these trade-offs, and it was a lot of exciting people using it. And then ETHDenver came, and we did the same thing, but it was at a lot higher scale. And I think the same for the people that had a happy path, and I think that was about 80%, they were able to scan a coin, get a wallet, go to the food trucks, buy food, all using crypto. So it was kind of that was the good first step for the burner, and I think that got the name out of the burner. And then the next step was okay, let's try to get funding for this. Let's get something together to just I want to do R&D type stuff. I'm not trying to start a company and build a product or whatever. And that kind of fell flat, to be honest. I learned a lot about myself, and I am not good at raising money. So then what we did was create a burner collective, where I was just okay, this is going to be more of an ecosystem thing. I'm probably not going to be the leader of this thing. I can just kind of throw everything I know up in this collective, get a bunch of good people together, and play around and see what we come up with. And I think, can I hand that off to you now? Is that a good transition?
Yeah, sure. So, I was at ETHDenver a year ago when I kind of first played with this burner wallet and kind of fell in love, and I was like, this is the first thing in crypto that I would give to someone not in crypto to use. Like, I love all the cool projects in this space, but most of them I'm like, they're cool crypto projects. And this one I was like, man, anybody could use this. And yeah, so I kind of was like digging around the code, and then as Austin said, he kind of started building a little bit of a community of people who were just passionate about the project, who wanted to contribute code, contribute design, all those kinds of things.
And my code was really gross. I should say that too. I had really gross code. And a person who told me they had to edit my code actually did this, like a little hanging motion. And then when they were talking about your code, they did, what did they do?
Yeah. Okay. There was some work to do. Yeah. But one thing that kind of became clear is I feel like after Denver, after like the idea of a burner wallet began to explode, like lots of people wanted their own burner wallet. They wanted a burner wallet that used state channels instead of XDAI, or they wanted a burner wallet that used, added some kind of DApp features where you could trade stuff. And Austin did a ton of like pushing the idea that a burner wallet's more than just like something for sending and receiving money with like the shitcoin exchange, emoji coin exchange, and a bunch of other, cool apps. So I began kind of thinking of the burner wallet as not just a wallet, but like a platform for people to build wallets. And I kind of came up with this idea of, over time, the burner wallet 2, which is just like it's still burner wallets, but they're a set of libraries that we put together to make it like really easy to build your own burner wallet. That instead of like forking one GitHub repo and like trying to change the code there, it's like you install like 10 different packages, like pick the features you want, like set a couple variables, what do you want it to say in the title, what colors and all that, what assets you want to include. And that kind of makes it a lot more accessible. People want to build their own burner wallet, they just need to pick out a couple different things there. What we got next? Well, and then from there, we've run a bunch of these events leading up to Denver, which is kind of our craziest, most ambitious burner wallet we've done. But I guess the next thing I want to talk about is just kind of where we see this project going in the future. So I say, burner wallet is growing up. This thing that kind of started as just like a toy little hackathon kind of thing is like going in some really cool directions, cool spaces. And so I kind of see the burner wallet going in 3 different directions. And the first one is kind of the one that is the most well known. It's onboarding. It's the one that most of you guys have probably used it for. I have a picture here. Yeah,
Boston?
This was at ETH Boston.
Yeah.
We've got some good pictures from like all the dappy hours we've done. But to me, I think burner wallets are the best way to bring new people into crypto blockchain ecosystem. Like the thing that like makes all this work worth it is like when I do one of these dappy hours and I see someone who's like, their face kind of lights up and they're like, whoa, this is possible. Like I have money on my phone. Like there's a lot of people, a surprising amount of people who go to like crypto meetups and dappy hours and stuff like that who've never actually used crypto. They're like, or maybe they have something on Coinbase or something like that, but they're interested in it, they think it's cool, but like they don't have MetaMask or anything. And so it's just amazing to see people like, they scan a QR code and they have money on their phone. They didn't sign up with anything. So I think one of the goals, me and Austin have run a bunch of different meetups, dappy hours, hackathons over the past year, but one goal is we want to make this not something that's dependent on us, like having a developer to do. We want this to be something that anyone who runs a blockchain meetup or a university group can run an event like this. One thing that I started like half a year ago was the Burner Factory, which is a website that lets you build a burner wallet originally it was just building a burner wallet without writing any code, and it really took off. People really liked it, but there was, the wallet itself is a very small part of this whole experience. So at this point, we pretty much have the whole experience down. You can go to the site, create a wallet, pick which tokens and assets you want to include, and mainly you can make your own. Here we're using Buffadai. Usually these events, it's really fun to have like a local coin, a currency with some value, but you're incentivized to use it at that event. So you can make your own coin. You can make paper wallets and print them out. The paper wallets are still pretty ugly right now, but we're working on making those look a little bit nicer. And then you can, like, in one click, airdrop tokens to all those paper wallets. So it's basically like one of these events in a box. So we're still working a bunch on this. If you go to the site, you'll see it's still like kind of ugly. Post Denver, this is like my main focus. And one of the goals with this project is to do what I want to call a burner day. because we want to like push this idea of these happy hours.
420. We could do it on April 20th. It just clicked. I don't know, maybe. Let's put a pin in that.
That's like, what, 1 month?
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll be ready in a month. Maybe that's the warm-up burner day. That's a different burner day. Burner Day, we want to, kind of kick off this idea of people running these events by getting like a bunch of communities, like every city in the world that's got a blockchain ecosystem to run one of these events. And we'll work with any community members. We'll, with the Burner Factory, we should have all the tools you need to like technically do that event. I'm already talking with sponsors about getting some funding. So like, when you do one of these events, basically you end up picking up the whole tab. So, having sponsors that'll pay for everyone's bar tabs and just get a bunch of fun people playing with cryptocurrency in a bar or restaurant somewhere. So if you are a community leader, if you're running a meetup or something like that, or you're just interested in hosting one of these Burner Days, definitely get in contact with me. So the second kind of area that I think that I see the Burner wallet being important in and going in is being for developers. As I said, we have this new like modular architecture, the Burner wallet too, that it's easy to kind of stack together your own Burner wallet without writing much code. But if you want to add features, if you have a cool idea for a game in a wallet, if you want to like make it accept some other kinds of currencies, or if you want to make a whole BUIDLathon game, like there's a pretty good architecture for doing that. And personally, I think this is like the easiest way to build a dApp because the rest of the wallet takes care of all the like not fun things about building a dApps, like wiring up accounts and all that stuff. We've already like kind of, at start, like I built a bunch of plugins on my own, but we're kind of getting to the point where we're starting to get other companies coming into the ecosystem and building plugins because it's a great way to show off their product. If you build a really cool product and you go to some event, you can kind of get people on board into your product really quickly. This slide was the one I was throwing together. We've got unstoppable domains are in your BUIDLathon wallets right now. Everyone has an unstoppable domain that you can transfer out. We also support ENS, and we're going to do some cool like burnable ENS names. Ching is a point of sale system that built a plugin. And if you're going to the MakerDAO Dappy Hour on Sunday evening, they'll be using Ching. There's a couple others. Link Drop. There's a company called Carbon that does like it's a credit card on-ramp. So we're kind of starting to build this library of plugins. And
can I throw a curveball in there?
Yeah, throw it in.
So going back to the whole instant onboarding thing and the plugins together, these plugins don't necessarily need to be a POS system or a financial service. This could be a game that's just changing state on chain, right? Like you could host an event and have a plugin that's like everyone playing tic-tac-toe or something like that on chain. Just putting that out there because these are very financially, or I guess unstoppable name domains isn't really, but like you can make games and harness this instant onboarding and harness the Burner wallet and harness the fact that you can drop tokens to people and have paper wallets and all of that with the Burner Factory. And it doesn't just have to be for money. You can just change state or make games. And that's kind of what we did with the wallet for the event.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, the scale of one of these things can range from, I'll say like, the ones on the screen here are actually like really small scale plugins actually. I put them up because they're like bigger names, but like Ching doesn't have a UI. They just support like their form of QR codes. And the domain, ENS and unstoppable domains just kind of pop in those domain names, but that's kind of the small end of a plugin. The big end is you can have pages and you can have UIs. You can build a whole dApp just in a Burner wallet, and that's what I'm excited to see. And so if you're interested in building, sorry, one more thing.
That's a good slide.
Yeah,
but wait, there's more.
So Burner Connect. The next announcement for developers, this is something I think we both had like kind of in our minds for a while, but we built it specifically for Denver, is Burner Connect. And what Burner Connect is it's not a scam coin, it's a it's a Web3 provider that lets you connect, like any dApp can drop this in and your website can connect to like accounts that are in a Burner wallet in like another tab. So this is all like within the browser. There's no server or anything. It's supported by Web3 Connect. If you don't know what Web3 Connect, you might have gone to some dApps and you click Connect and something pops up that says, do you want to use MetaMask? Do you want to use Fortmatic? Do you want to use Portis? Do you want to use like kind of all these different Web3 providers?
So I could set up a paper wallet with a private key on it. I could scan the paper wallet and have the Burner wallet on my phone. And then I could take that and log into some third-party Web3 and use my burner wallet to interface with it, making transactions and signing messages.
Exactly. Without sharing a private key. The private key is still kept safe.
You're basically prompted, are you sure you want to do that? Awesome.
Yeah. So you guys will see this if you're using this BUIDLathon wallet this weekend. You'll use the burner wallet for like accumulating your XP, and then when you want to vote, there's a button on the bottom of the screen that'll take you over to Alchemy by DAO Stack. So this is this like whole DAO system that they built, but they wanted to kind of integrate with the burner wallet. So we built this system so when you go there, you'll log in with your burner wallet and kind of share that account across websites. And so this is nice because, again, any developer that wants to kind of dabble in some burner wallet stuff but doesn't want to build a whole thing, you can just pop this right in. So if you are a developer that's interested in doing some burner wallet stuff, we've got $2,000 worth of bounties for hackers this weekend. MakerDAO is offering $1,500 for projects. I don't know if that's like for one project or what, but $1,500 pot for people who build burner wallet plugins that use any of they've got this long list of like grantees. I think the two most notable ones are Sablier and Pool Together, but they have a ton of other grantees. So check out that list of grantees, and if you think you can build something cool with it and want to build it as a burner wallet plugin, there's a good pot of money there.
If you're out there at the table and you're building a project with a burner wallet, don't go use my code. Use his code. It's a lot easier to extend.
Reach out to me. We'll get you set up. And then I'm throwing in $500 of my own money for just like the overall best wallet. I think at these hackathons we see a lot of groups that burner wallets are perfect for hackathons because they're like really easy, like anybody can try them out really quick, like you got like a nice UI to start from. So the best project that integrates a burner wallet using our burner wallet libraries. And so the final area is like, this one's a little bit more in the future, but Austin was talking about some of these trade-offs that you make when you use a burner wallet, that like, you're storing a private key in local storage and stuff like that, that it's been like, up until now, it's been kind of a toy. It's good for hackathons, it's good for meetups and stuff like that. But as this project's developing, we're getting more features that are bringing this closer to, I think, hopefully, a wallet that you can kind of keep your actual funds on. And yeah, we originally sacrificed security for onboarding, but like, can we do both? Can we have this web-based wallet that's really easy to use that you can onboard by just scanning a code and still have it like secure enough, easy to use enough that you can put like $1,000 in it and not be worried about losing it? This
goes back to like Alex Van de Zandt. How long? He's not in here, is he? He's here somewhere.
He's here, I've seen him.
It was like 2 years ago. He was talking about like, we shouldn't be moving private keys around. You should just have an ephemeral private key that signs a message that goes to a contract, and the contract like lets that guy spend a little bit, right? And it's finally like coming true, and people are doing it, and it's working. That's the last slide.
I don't know if I made slides, but that's too bad because I think this is the most exciting.
Oh, there's more? What?
We didn't even mention the. So the thing that I think is really making this possible, and it's something that's in these wallets today, is we've built the system for contract wallets, for counterfactual contract wallets in a burner wallet. And the idea is like, this originally came from like a while ago, Austin integrated Gnosis Safe into the burner wallet. So this is a contract wallet, you can have multi-sig and all that stuff like that. And that kind of opened my mind that like you can have a secure way to store your funds in a like lightweight web-based wallet. And what we've gotten to today with these counterfactual wallets that use Create2, it feels exactly the same. You don't need to create a safe. Like you just open a burner wallet and the contract's already there. You can send money to it and you can lock it down.
And you probably don't know it, but all of you guys already had a contract wallet when you walked in the door today. Like by getting on BUIDLathon, it takes an ephemeral private key and derives a Create2, doesn't deploy it, but then anytime you need to transact, it goes through GSN, and we'll talk about all that. He'll talk about all that in opening ceremonies.
Yeah, we'll talk about that more later, but basically, yeah, that contract doesn't get deployed until you make your first transaction. So there's no on-chain transaction like set up a wallet. Like the user experience is exactly the same, but we've got some like really cool stuff under the hood. And this opens up so many possibilities. The reasons we're using it here, for one, we're using Gas Station Network, which is a system for like meta transaction relaying, which is why like, last year when we did the burner wallets, like Austin had a system for airdropping gas money to everyone. this year, like we're using gas station network, like you don't have any gas money in your wallet. Nobody's paying gas. We're paying for all your gas out of one account.
And the food trucks are mad at us right now.
Yeah, it's working most of the time. The other reason is that we are integrating with Fortmatic this year, and so we kind of have the system where your Fortmatic owns this account, and it authorizes your burner wallet to like use it. That's why you'll see when you sign in with Fortmatic, it asks for a signature. And this is kind of the way, like the direction I see this going, that Fortmatic's kind of providing your identity in our case, and then you have a private key that's on your device that's still like a burnable private key. You can throw it away. Like your Fortmatic account owns that wallet. So if you put $1,000 in the wallet that you have today, and then you go and clear your history, you throw your phone in the trash, you can still get that money back because it's attached to your Fortmatic, which is a whole separate system. So in the future, like I can see us really expanding this. Basically, the goal is like, can we give all the like awesome UX, the awesome features, and the security of like a wallet like Argent, but still have it run in the browser, still have like that super easy onboarding where like you can just scan someone's QR in a bar and then like a wallet pops up with real money in it. Yeah.
The answer is yes.
The answer is yes, it's coming. So that's what we're working on. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So we can do questions.
So what are you doing for off-chain transactions? So the vendor is getting paid out through this burner wallet, right? And that's still stored in the public crypto. So how are they that money? Like, are you using something else?
These guys out here, the food trucks?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the food trucks will, there's kind of a strange off-ramping process because our tokens are just like a shitcoin we minted, right? So what they're gonna do is they burn their tokens and it triggers a wire script on our end to send them DAI. So it's kind of like, and it's for safety. Like we could wire that up and we could make that work, but for safety, for sending $30,000, we're probably just gonna have a human say, yes, that's good. But we don't have to.
But they do get off-ramped through wire, so it's
Right,
like,
it's still crypto. The food trucks are like, ETH is shooting up, like get us our DAI so we can convert it to ETH to get
Yeah.
some exposure on this.
Really with that transaction flow, right? It's not like an off-chain transaction that's then converting it to cash and they're getting it in the form of DAI.
does
Yes.
wire
yes.
go into their bank account?
Yes. Well,
So
it'll be DAI, but
Well, they're getting paid out in their bank accounts. Yeah.
No. It's a bank account connected to wire. So basically, they burn. It triggers one wire to send to another wire in DAI. So they receive DAI for what they received at the food trucks, and then they can move that to their bank account, or like some of them move it to ETH and ride the ride.
And yeah, Burner Factory is burnerfactory.com. For like the libraries and stuff, you can go to github.com/burner-factory, and pretty much like all the code for everything we talked about lives there. There's the Burner Wallet 2, which is like the most of the good code, but there's like a bunch of other repos. There's ones for Burner Connect now. There's a bunch of contract repos and stuff. But yeah, github.com/burner-factory for code, burnerfactory, no dash.com to make your own Burner wallet really easily. Anything else?
Did ETH build work down there for you? It worked? Awesome.
Cool. Thank you so much, guys. We're going to be doing like 10 minutes talking more about BUIDLathon during the opening ceremony, so we'll see you guys there.
Woo.